Hello, everyone. This is your host, Gemma, bringing health and wellness conversations from North Idaho and across this region. I am so excited to chat with the entrepreneurs, creatives, and believers as we journey together to connect more deeply to ourselves, our earth, and our communities. Cheers to shining bright and supporting local. Welcome to Vibrant Living Conversations. I'm your host, Gemma. For today's interview, I am talking with Michelle, owner of High Point Crystals, an online crystal boutique that has super fun and addictive flash sales on Fridays. Her love of crystals and healing has fueled this passion to share some of Earth's most prized creations with all of us. And she also happens to live right here in North Idaho. So welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and chat with you.
Yay. So let's dive in. Your story, your passion, your purpose for starting High Point Crystal Boutique.
Yeah, so I actually grew up in northern Nevada, which is a really mineral rich mining area. So growing up as a kid, I was always going crystal digging and crystal hunting with my father. Nevada's notorious for having turquoise, obsidian, selenite, you name it, rubies, they've got it. So always did that as a child with my dad. And then I moved up to this area 2015, and I went to Zero Point in Sandpoint. Have you been to that crystal shop?
Yeah, for sure. It has like the 2 levels and all of that. Yeah.
Giant clear quartz point that they say the energy radiates the entire town of Sandpoint. So I went there, and they had the little description cards with how crystals are also healing. And so, I've always kind of had a love and a passion for crystals and collecting them, but it was the moment when I realized they also had metaphysical healing properties that, that just captured my interest. And then later in life, I decided that I wanted to help share and spread that message with other people and help get them in other people's hands.
I love it. I discovered crystals. I mean, I've always had them, but just because you're just drawn to them, right? When you go in those stores, even if you don't know a lot about them, you're drawn to certain ones.
Yeah.
So it's just fun to start to know more and realize how many there are and how powerful they are or can be.
Right. And we're discovering new ones all the time, which is also so exciting.
For sure. Totally just magical, right? And straight from the earth, which is just, yes, Mother Nature is amazing.
Yes, she made that with all her glory.
So you said they started drawing you in, I mean, your whole life, but do you know specifically why and how crystals are so powerful?
Yes, so it really comes down to a science of it. Crystals are formed from matter and material that's melted, and then that's heated, and then they come together and cool down. And they form in different geometric patterns. So you can find sacred geometry in crystals as well, which is really interesting. And that gives them the ability to vibrate because of the space in between. And they're really high vibrational beings. And I say not human beings, obviously,
Right.
but so that's what allows them to vibrate really high. And what you're supposed to do is meditate with them and go into meditation with them. And then that allows the frequency and the vibration of your body to match with the vibration of the crystal. And that's how you start getting the healing or your intention that you set with it or what you're trying to manifest. So really, we are the healers. We are the manifestors. Crystals are a tool that allow us to be able to connect with and amplify our own personal energies. So really, we both harness the power, yourself and the crystal.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, and to think that, I mean, we're all energy. Everything is energy, right? Like we're energy, they are energy, nature is energy. So when we're drawn to a certain crystal, do you believe that Because I mean, different colors, of course, like there's the whole spectrum of colors in crystals. So they radiate at slightly different wavelengths as well, right? Like the reds versus the blacks, of course, are quite different.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and they all will go, for a specific chakra. So a lot of Reiki healers and will use crystals in their practice or any kind of energy healing you're doing on the body, because you can match a color of the crystal to the chakra on your body. And yeah, once you become more sensitive to their energies, you can pick up different ones, and some will feel hot to the touch naturally. Some kind of feel like there might be buzzing in your hands. Some might feel cold to the touch. So absolutely, like you said, different colors, different shapes, the different ways that they form all affect the way that they feel. And depending on what type of healing you may need or what you're searching for, seeking in life, you'll feel attracted to different ones.
And I love that too, because from the rookie that doesn't know a lot about crystals and why they're being drawn to it, go with your intuition. Like, know that
Yeah.
you're being drawn to it. You don't really have to know why you're being drawn to it, but know that whatever that crystal is offering you, you need it right now. Right. So
Yeah, absolutely. There's a quote by Nikola Tesla too. I'll read it to you. In a crystal, we have clear evidence of the existence of a formative life principle. And though we cannot understand the life of a crystal, it is nonetheless a living being. So, just like we connect with other humans, and animals and plants and feel connected to the earth naturally, we feel connected to crystals too, because we're all in the same, like you said. So,
yeah, so
yeah.
powerful. I love it. So what are some of your favorite crystals? Which ones are you really drawn to?
So hard to pick just one. It's in my whole house, of course, is just covered in them in different forms. But I would say if you're a beginner and you're just trying to start getting into crystal healing, that probably amethyst and clear quartz are like your salt and pepper of the crystal medicine cabinet. So that's probably where I started, was amethyst. But once you get a taste, you can't stop. I can't ever pick just one. So
Right. Well, and those ones they're healing for like all the chakras too, right? Like there's some stones that just
yeah.
whatever their wavelength is, they're just more healing for like all the negative energy. Amethyst and crystal
Yeah.
quartz are two of those. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, clear quartz is one that really you can set any intention you would like on it, or really use it for just general all over healing. Selenite is a good one too that you can pretty much use for anything. So there's definitely the all-in-one crystals out there.
Yeah. So how about let's zone this in a little bit. So if you're having, well, right now, let's talk about your current situation. You have twins. Amazing. So you're probably a little sleepless, a little like needing extra energy. So what's your go-to crystal for that, or what has it been?
So lately, I've been using pink opal, which is actually one that is said to help make a stronger connection bond between mother-child relationships. I've got the two newborn twins and a toddler too, and just really trying to find the time to connect and devote time to each of them individually, and still make the toddler feel love too. And Trine has been another good one for me. That's the orange one. Really bright, reminds you of the sun energy. So that and orange calcite I've been using a lot to just try to get through the day with a little bit of energy, even though I'm sleep deprived.
Well, and I bet too, I have a piece of citrine actually right here. It's like my favorite. And I was given it randomly at a wedding, but even just like the shape of it, I'm like, I am obsessed. I bet it's even good for us this time of year in the dark season. Would you say like that sunshine, that bright energy that we're not getting from being outside?
Yes, that's a good point too. Definitely, you become more attracted to the brighter colored orange ones in these dark winter months. So, yeah.
Yeah.
love you during the holidays when you're going to buy a lot of gifts for people, and it's really a time of spending a lot of money because they say that citrine is good to attract financial abundance and just overall abundance and wealth into your life. So those also fall into feng shui a lot also. So they say if you keep amethyst in your kitchen, it can help with preventing you from overeating. Citrine placed in the very back left corner of your home from your front door. Bring in that, and then rose quartz, the stone of love, obviously would be good in your bedroom, your living room, hanging out. So crystals millions of years to form, but our ancestors have been using them for a very long time. The Egyptians, the Greeks, everyone, how it used to make talismans. Aquamarine used to be used by sailors to protect them on the ocean and the water. So, crystal healing is not a new thing by any means.
Well, and that's, I think, part of even my mission is to realize that the healing modalities that have been around for a really long time and come straight from Mother Earth, I believe are some of the most powerful and sustainable and fun. They feel magical. They're fun to take in. They don't have some negative side effect from popping a pill that's made of who knows what, right? Like,
Yeah.
so the fact that they've been around forever and been used by gods and goddesses and all the things, like, perfect.
Right. And I know some people, are kind of skeptic to that, and that's understandable. One thing I like to compare it to, like you said, taking pills in like clinical trials where they give people a placebo and the actual pill. And sometimes the ones who take the placebo, feel better or feel some healing. And it's, crystals the same way. Like maybe it really is more in your power than you believe, and your mind and your mentality. Crystals are just kind of meant to be that tool to help you, or even to help you channel knowledge on what your body might need or what you might be lacking.
And even as I did Reiki training, I learned that people can block the Reiki. They can, right, if they are lying on the table and they're a skeptic, like, even if it's not consciously, like subconsciously, they can kind of block. So I'm sure it's the same with crystals or anything, whether you believe and you allow it into your body, or you don't believe, you can actually block the good stuff from happening, right?
Great thing about crystals is you can break them down by what they are scientifically, and that's kind of almost like your proof. And another thing I love to do with my friends or people that I meet who are skeptic is you can take a piece of like selenite, clear quartz, for example, because those are two of the most high vibrational stones, and you take a laser pointer like you would play with your cat, and you hold it up to the bottom of the crystal. And it's best to do it in like a dark room if you can, and you sort of meditate on it. You can actually see the crystal start to vibrate, or it kind of fuzzy. It looks like static on a television.
Wow.
So that's been one way that I've gotten my, skeptical friends have an actual visualization as well as a scientific explanation. People like to see things to believe them. So that's a great way to get them to see these are vibrating at a very high frequency. They're alive, for.
I'm going to have to try that for myself just because that sounds fun.
Ooh.
I mean, obviously, crystals and working with crystals has changed your life. Do you have any specific examples of how they have changed your life?
Yeah, kind of going back to what you said about they come from our Mother Earth, right? And she took millions of years to form these just beautiful amethyst, like gorgeous, and could sit there and think, oh, they're just rocks, but really they're so magical and they have all these healing properties. They're so beyond the ordinary, they're extraordinary. And it kind of reminded me, that us humans are made up of the same materials, dirt, dust, all these chemicals and metals. So really helped me not only see more beauty and life in plants and the earth and just everything around me, but also in myself, because we're made, and everyone around me too, and because we're made up of the same thing. So that was probably the main way they just really changed my perspective on everything around me and
I,
my life, this beautiful earth in general, and really paved the way for my spiritual path in life.
I love that. And I think we need that. We've always needed that, but now more than ever, when our world is split apart, right? Coming back to the oneness in all of us. We don't have to all think the same. We don't all have to believe the same thoughts, but the oneness in that beauty, exactly that you were saying. And
Yeah, like each crystal is unique and it could have nicks and marks or not grow the same way as another one. And we don't think it's any less beautiful than the other. And that's exactly how we should look and feel about ourselves and each other too.
yeah, for sure. So we've
Yeah.
talked about putting crystals in our houses in different areas, meditating with them. How else do you use crystals in your daily life?
I like to wear them. I have not
Mhm.
taken that
Ooh,
off probably 7 years. I shower with it, swim with it, never comes off.
love it. Beautiful.
And of course, my husband knows me so well and got me a aquamarine wedding ring. And other ways I love to is on full moons, making moon crystal water
Ooh,
elixir. There are water safe crystals, and there's also ones that are not water safe. So
okay.
quick Google search will tell you what is and what isn't. Typically really porous ones like selenite that are kind of rough to the surface aren't good because they can disintegrate and fall apart. But ones like amethyst or like your really smooth polished stones you can put into water.
Nice.
So if you could put an amethyst crystal inside a glass of water, put it under the full moonlight and drink it
Ooh,
internally. Amethyst is a wonderful calming stone. It's said to help aid in sobriety. So, by physically drinking the water too, and water is its own very high vibrational, powerful element. So, when you're adding that and the moon water and the crystals, it's just one powerful.
I love that. Yeah. And under the power of a full moon, too. How awesome.
It's great to charge your crystals under the full moon. Just like us, they need to get their energy back. They need to be cleansed. They can pick up energies from other people. So, selenite is something you definitely want to have in your crystal toolbox because it is one of the only crystals that will charge and cleanse itself,
Mm.
as well as other crystals that you place around it. So, but other ways you can do that is running the water safe ones under some water will clear out any stagnant energies in them. And then, yeah, every full moon, it's good to go and place them outside and let them soak up the moon energy. And it just helps keep their vibration high because the moon is so high vibrational as well. So,
Well, I know the crystals from you clear them before mailing them out, right? But if you go to like a store, if you think about how many people are roaming around a store, those crystals are probably picking up all kinds of energy that you want to make sure that you clear before bringing it into your own life.
definitely. Yep. And kind of like this unspoken rule between the crystal community is, you go to someone's house and you don't touch their crystals without asking them. Not that it's a big deal, but that's just unwritten rule.
I love that. That's funny. My mother-in-law also has a bazillion crystals at her house, and it's like a candy store for me. Like I have small ones. Mine aren't really that big. I have a big amethyst, but anyway, hers, I'm like, you just want to be like a kid in a candy store, right? Like,
Yeah,
look at them
candy for sure. It's a you get one, you're like, you just have to grow your collection.
all. Yeah, for sure. You realize the whole like world of crystals out there, and it's yeah.
Yeah, people love them too because they kind of give you a sense of protection. I know I keep some in my car, like black tourmaline, smoky quartz, any black, dark crystal is going to be good for protection. So, you can place that in your home, in your car. If you feel anxiety while driving, amethyst is great to put in your vehicle too. So, the possibilities of using them are just endless. There's no reason why you couldn't always have one on you.
I carry them around in my back pocket. It's been dangerous a few times when I go to like sit
I
and I'm like, oh, that one's a little spiky, or yeah.
too if you're worried about the electromagnetic radiation. Shungite, black tourmaline, fluorite even are great for absorbing it, or even some transform that energy into positive energy around you. Fluorite is great for if you need to speak in front of people. Any blue crystal really is. So turquoise also, all of throat chakra. So
Yeah.
really there's one for everything and what your daily life too, no matter what your job might look like throughout the day. So there's always something that can benefit you.
Well, and I love like it brings you back to the intentionality, right? Like, okay, what crystal can I switch on to now? It like for me, it's like a trigger of, okay, I've kind of got an afternoon slump. Instead of going for a cup of coffee, I'm like, what? How can I surround myself with something energizing and beautiful at the same time, you know?
Yeah, the fact that they make beautiful home decor too is just a blessing.
Right.
And
What are all these rocks everywhere? They're actually beautiful crystals, right? Love it. I know your littles are pretty little, but is your toddler or your husband, do they enjoy crystals as well?
oh yes, I definitely got my husband into collecting. When I get new material in, sometimes he'll be like, that one's calling to me.
Fun.
And I've got pictures of him as young as probably 2 years old in the stroller holding a big chunk of rose quartz, and he's starting to get good at identifying them. He'll see rose quartz and he'll go, oh, that's the stone of love, and right there, that's a proud mom moment.
Yes, right.
All my babies are earth signs. Their zodiac signs are all the earth elements. So he's always naturally been attracted to dirt and rocks and the earth. This last summer, I've started doing local markets, farmers markets, and I've children just gravitate to my booth and will come up and want to hold them and touch them. And I think children are naturally more sensitive to their energies and the way that they feel. So I always try to encourage parents to let their kids have a little collection and teach them about help their bad dreams or something. You send them with tell them this selenite will help. He knows amethyst helps him go to sleep. And so you can use it to your parental advantage as well.
Perfect. Sleepy time. Here we go with some lavender essential oil. They'll be out like a light. Do you have a book that's like your go-to, because you're obviously a wealth of knowledge about this. Do you have like a go-to resource for crystals, or has it just been like an accumulation over time of your knowledge?
You know, it's so amazing that we live in the time of the internet where you can go literally just Google red jasper healing properties and it'll tell you every books, too. I don't want those ever to go away. If you're a beginner and want a really good book with just everything in it, I would suggest The Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. That's a really popular one. And sadly, she just passed away. She has a volume 1 and a volume 2 that I'm aware of. And that breaks everything down in there. There are endless resources now, but that's a great book that I would suggest that's common that you can easily get a hold of and purchase. And
Perfect.
yeah.
I love that. Well, and I have a couple of chakra books too, which are fun because then they associate, like, I mean, it's obviously more chakra focused, but they associate crystals to like different areas of your body. If that's just a different way to organize, or even feng shui books, obviously, a feng shui book might be the way to go if that's something that someone's interested in to associate it with.
Depending on how you're wanting to use them.
Yeah, love it. So tell us more about your boutique. You have your online website, but then you do your flash sales, and then apparently you're in the community. I can come and find you.
Yeah, so I'm working on growing and building a stronger website right now and just having some of those staples like selenite, clear quartz available all the time. And then on my Instagram, every Friday, I do the flash sales, which is really fun. It's kind of like an auction. So I'll post an amount of them, I'll label them with either numbers or letters, and my customers can comment sold or claim along with the number, letter, and it's a lot of fun. And I know people get amped up and they're like, oh, I'm for the drop. Last summer, I finally started doing some local markets, Spokane Valley farmers markets on Fridays. And I like to do Barn 31, their summer market series here in Post Falls. And grow that. And if you go on my Instagram, I'll post and let everyone know what events I'll be at locally. And looking forward to the nice summer weather and the market season coming up. So,
Right. Yeah, for sure. So what's your vision for your boutique? In an ideal world, in 5 years, when you've got a little bit more time, your kids aren't quite so.
yes, I'm so grateful, that I can do online sales because it really helps when, you've got a family and you're trying to juggle other things too. And one day I would love to open up a crystal shop. Seeing them in person can be a totally different feel from what they look like online. And I would love to employ my children, my family one day and pass that on if that's something that one or all of them wanted to do, and
Love it.
grow slowly and, make it a family thing. And my son already pretends to be a little entrepreneur with his toy cash register. So it would be just, keep growing and keep it in the family if that's something that they would like.
I love that. How fun. I meant to ask you too, how do you go about finding your crystals? Do you have different sources that you go to buy them?
Yeah, so I work with wholesalers overseas. So there are a lot of crystals that are made here in the USA, but a lot of them have only one mine in just this one part of the world. In Madagascar, there's one mine in existence, And so I do work with wholesalers overseas who are other families just like me who hand carve them themselves and get them from the miners. So I do source them overseas and help out the other families over there. Also, my hometown in Nevada is my main source of selenite, turquoise, rubies, all those that I was talking about. I actually grew up with a selenite gypsum mine right behind my parents' house
Oh,
growing.
interesting.
Yeah, so little, we're always around me and in my life. So really special to be able to source it from there.
Yeah, definitely to know like this is how I got into crystals in the first place.
Yeah.
Was there anything else? I know I'm sure you could talk about crystals all day long, but is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I would say just give them a try. Hold one out when you go into an online boutique or a store. Just really pick what calls to you. And yeah, just remember that you're the healer and they're just a tool to help you out.
I love that. How magical. Well, I always like to end with my definition of vibrant living is glowing from the inside out. So
Yeah.
I was just wondering if there are three-ish people, organizations, groups that have just inspired you locally on your spiritual and crystal adventures.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that I got to connect with the local market the markets, especially Coeur d'Alene in the inland Northwest. There's so many amazing creatives in this area and so many opportunities to showcase your products. And big inspiration for me would be my friend Becky and her business, Bath by Bex, all natural CBD products. And yeah, her stuff has been such an amazing grace, especially after having 3 children. So
I love that. Bath by Bex. Love it. I'll look it up.
all natural. They just opened up a retail location on Sprague in the Valley, and you can find her at all the local shows too. So
Perfect.
she's super inspiring, just a hustler. I look up to her so much, and just someone who shows you, that anything is possible as an entrepreneur. Another one would be my friend Kylie and her business, Sterling Creations. She does beautiful resin art, and it's just great to have that friend who you can tell your creative ideas to and they are artsy and can bring it to life, because I'm not much of an art person. So
How fun. Love it.
art. And then the third one I would say Black Bear Herberry, and I know that I saw you interviewed Derek on one of your podcasts.
You did, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, great.
yeah, he's doing personalized tinctures now, and I met him at the Spokane Valley Farmers Market. Yeah, and he made a immunity pregnancy safe tincture for me for going through pregnancy in the winter. that
Amazing.
kept healthy. So yeah, there's so many, but those are probably my top 3.
Well, and I think, like you said, you go to the farmers markets, the markets around here, and they're just full of inspiring people, right? And people to connect with and learn from and be
Yeah.
inspired by in their entrepreneurial ways. And yeah.
Yeah, we have a great area, great community for that. So I'm very grateful to be here.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Michelle. And I just need to say that everyone needs to watch this one, not just listen to it, because then they can see your beautiful shirt with crystals all over it. See all of the beautiful crystals that we've been showing. Yes. So perfect. So thank you again for joining me. And I look forward to meeting you in person over the summer.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to that as well, and to the warm weather too.
Thanks for joining us today. If you don't already have a crystal or two, I can imagine you are gearing up for Michelle's Friday flash sale or Googling where your nearest boutique is. I look forward to hearing which one called to you and how it is supporting your vibrant living. Crystals are just another way that we get to connect with Mother Earth and her magic. I just say respect her power, but have fun exploring. As I continue this journey of discovery and holistic living, I hope you join me as I get to know more awesome, inspiring people in this Inland West region. I would greatly appreciate it if you would share and like the episode so that more people can be inspired. And remember, you can always watch these conversations on my YouTube channel. I'm also incredibly excited to be taking on one-on-one coaching clients. If you're craving to break through to a new way of thinking, feeling, and living in the world, and are interested in taking that journey with me, please visit my website, gemmaputty.com, or direct message me through any one of my channels, sending all the love, light, and vibrancy. Until next time.